We're going to call the Wayne Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone. Thank you for attending. First off, I'd like to get a roll call, please.
Mr. Kaufman?
Here.
Ms. Colvin?
Here.
Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Uniform.
Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, that would have been August 19th meeting.
I'll make a motion with changes that we're going to go.
I'll second.
All in favor for approving the August 19th meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, like sign, motion is carried.
Do we have any additions, removals, or disclosures from the posted agenda? I believe we have some
Yes.
resolutions.
Yep, 25-61, a resolution authorizing transfer of township banking business from LC&B to People's Bank. Resolution 25-62, a resolution to establish a fire cadet program for Wayne Township. Resolution 2025-63, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. Resolution 25-64, accepting the resignation of Emmanuel Benton, an EMT from Wayne Township Fire Department. Resolution 25-65, accepting the resignation of Brandon Richardson, a firefighter EMT from Wayne Township Fire Department.
Okay. Thank you very much. Citizens' comments. Citizen comments?
Well, I'm just here basically just to get familiar with the system. My
Very
name's
good.
Steve Jones, I live on Carter Drive,
Excellent.
and we have, some people are familiar with it, but we have an excessive speeding problem. It's just a matter of time for someone is hurt. We've had cars through our yards, through our mailboxes, and it's always from the north end of our street. Every time they run and hide and we have to hunt them down.
Like they're coming down? Or
Yeah, it's the new, mainly
Additional flow.
teenagers. And just before I even came here, I had to, 50, 60 mile an hour is on the average. And they've got my neighbor's mailbox twice. They hid the car, but I knew who they were. They got mine once. They tried to hide, but I was out there when it happened. And most of my neighbors are concerned with the new development, how it's going to affect our water drainage. You can look at all the topography maps that you want until you see the actual layout. Where I live and my neighbor, you can stand at the end of my driveway, look south, it goes uphill. Look north, it goes uphill. We get a lot of water from the new addition. We was at the county commissioners meeting and the developer's engineer said that he would do this and do that. They're not gonna do nothing. And this is just gonna exasperate the whole thing. There's nowhere for this water to go.
Have you reached out to Warren County Water and Soil?
I've reached out to everybody. I've reached out to people. When Hidden Trails was in development, there were no houses there. And Warren County Commissioners told me I got to sue each individual homeowner. There wasn't even a home built. And Ellis, the developer, didn't even show up. He didn't have to. There's people here that know exactly what I'm talking about. And in the commissioner meeting, they stated that the water drains in the field. It doesn't. Some does, but they actually diverted it into our properties. And it goes against state law, and it goes against even Warren County's requirements for a subdivision. I think it's like section 400, 401, 403. And at the last meeting, Ellis's engineer stated that he could do this and that it was a problem. But when you go to Warren County at a commissioners meeting, you can tell they just don't care. They want to wait till there's a problem, then leave it on to us to fight it. And I haven't seen a good flood plan or a water dispersion or nothing. And Chad Ellis is he knows. He used to live at the end of the new addition, but I guess it was too much for him. He moved out. And I've said it at the commissioner meeting, property taxes are going up and we're losing less use of our property. My yard doesn't dry out till mid-June. I came home from work, soil and conservation seemed to think the problem stemmed from the front, so they dug huge ditches in. We don't get water in our ditches, period. I don't. So it cost me this spring $3,000 to put a culvert in, the piping, the backfill, the gravel, just so I could get into my backyard again. I brought that up at the commissioners meeting. Used to be, they'd be like, hey, we can help you out on this. It just, and I will probably, it doesn't matter if you recite ordinance, you recite law, you recite precedent-setting cases. Doesn't matter to Warren County. They're going to leave it on to us to fight it at our expense. I've been down this road.
What was your address?
7804 Carter.
So I met with Mr. Jones for a few hours last week, and then I'm back today. I totally understand his frustration. I mean, I see how it is very flat out there. That's why I emailed you, Gus and Scott, about putting in another speed limit sign coming out. I told them if they speed, they speed. They're not gonna obey another speed limit sign, but at least it puts people on notice that you're watching. And I don't like that you guys are having to take things into your own hands, vigilante type style almost, to try to solve that problem. But I mean, I would like to come back out when it floods and see a live event kind of thing. And it is frustrating to me too. I understand your frustration, and to see current residents kind of being put out, I guess, in a way, for new development coming in, and the unknown of what can happen. I shared with him the plans, Stacy, that you gave me with the retention ponds on it. So, I don't know, I think it's something we should, I don't know exactly what we can do, but.
Well, I can say
I'm willing to
that
listen.
I met with Gus and he showed me the plans of hidden trails, and there was a spot for a retention pond. After I looked at those plans, the ditch lines were changed. The retention pond become a building lot. None of us were advised of a zoning change or anything. So the lot that was the retention pond is actually where the water dumps into us. We got a west side and an east side. The west side should have drained down to the creek, but they blocked it, so west side and east side go under the road. and onto us. To the point that I've actually seen the farmers come in the spring and have to do grading where it erodes the field. Now, that erosion's gonna go about 50 feet into the new homeowners' yards. But they're gonna push it down to us, which causes our yards not to perk. It causes our yards to back up and stay wet longer and further. One neighbor's leach lines washed up. They just said heck with it and sold. And I don't know why they don't come up here, but they'll all want to know what went on. So, and a lot of them have just given up. But, so the new plan shows retention ponds. One of them is uphill, won't do us no good. And who's to say it won't be changed again? And if it's changed again, maybe this time we can have a say-so with proper notification, because we weren't last time. And old Virgil Counts was 90 years old. Ellis, his trees were falling, destroyed his fence. Chad Ellis would return 9 phone calls. He didn't care. And he might not care, but I care, and I'm retired. And I don't need another job. I will make it my job to be an advocate, because if you're going to develop, you got to be responsible. Warren County needs to follow their own standards, subdivision standards that they've got listed. They all say the topography, but none of them come out. They don't want to come out of them Bible. It says this: the field behind us is such an elevation, we target shoot in it because we know it's a natural backstop. It's at least 6 foot elevation. And as I said in the count, as commissioner, you're probably going to have a couple 100,000 feet of roofing. And all that roofing is going to collect all this water in the downspouts. It's going to be directed to us. Now, hidden trails, I believe the EPA cited them 4 or 5 citations. I'm not sure what they were, but I do know that all the downspouts went to the ditch line, which is not, that's not right. And, you know, I can't say water's been a problem lately, but we get heavy rains, it's bad. And
Is this something you've been dealing with for every year, or you?
every year, every,
It's been there 21 years, right?
if it rained right now for 2 days, maybe an inch a day wouldn't be a problem. But once that ground is saturated, once we get snow, and once it freezes, I actually watched my neighbor's tree get uprooted because there's force behind it. I can't grow a garden anymore. I give up. I built a barn on that part of the yard. You know, I just, you know, and at the commissioner, when we went there at the zoning, the engineer for Ellis wanted to get back up, and he said, you know, he smart-mouthed us. There's 3 or 4 of us from the neighborhood there. He said, well, if we make an issue of it, your water on to us. And I asked Dave Young to strike that as inflammatory and argumentative. His reply was, I didn't hear it. The people in the audience said he said it, and the guy that said it even admitted it. So how much do they hear when we go? But I will tell you this, when they're up for re-election, you know, I was a state employee for 31 years. I've dealt with Shannon Jones. She tried to come in and break our unions up. And I have a real hard problem with lifetime politicians. I mean, do your time, go get a private sector job. I mean, at that level. And because it just leads to arrogance. They're not concerned. We went up against Mike Kilburn, Chris and Barry, and Pat South about odors, wanting to drive 600 trucks around where I used to live, Dry Run Road. And we won that just because they didn't want to pay 5 cents a ton to maintain roads through South Lebanon. And, you know, like I said, I research everything. When I go in there, I have ordinances, I have codes, I have law-setting, precedent-setting cases. I even go in there with everything that Warren County subdivision requirements are prior to development. Doesn't do good. And all I got to say is, they're gonna leave it to us at our expense to fight this. And Ohio law recognizes a homeowner as an expert witness. I have no problem with development, none. It's just what the development can't infringe on us. And I've had to talk people down of putting hydraulic cement in the underpass culvert, throwing eggs at the speeders, you know. I'm like, look, they're gonna come after me because I'm the most, no, just leave it alone, younger people. But I worry about a kid getting killed. Before the new subdivision was in, kids played in the street. Now, there's no way. There's no way. There's nothing worse than seeing a teenager drive down the road in a $90,000 SUV with the phone up in their face doing 60. It happens all the time. And the parents up there, I blame them. The kid's punishment for knocking the mailbox down was they hired about an 80-year-old man to put the mailbox up, while the kid that ran away sent a text on his phone. That was his punishment. And when I confronted them about hitting our mailbox, the kid's mother looked at me and said, "Oh, we hit your mailbox, boo-hoo." I said, "Lady, we're working with you. I've had sheriff up here. He hit it and he ran, so it's up to you how you want to deal with it." They paid for it. There's a custom mailbox, but just especially 8:30 in the morning. And it comes to the point, my neighbors, we stagger our vehicles on Carter. It makes it a one-way, so they have to go through this, and it checks their speed. But we worry about getting sideswiped and hunting them down, you know, but hey, it is what it is.
I appreciate you coming tonight.
Yeah, and
Yeah, if you got this, so you said they did give you solutions or they did not give you solutions or anything?
well, at the commissioner, the first time we went,
I don't mean to make this longer or stuff like that, but
on
if you have some solutions, it'd be good. I'd like to see some of those. I know I've been up in a couple of neighborhoods where we bored cable in and stuff like that, and I know that they put like curtain drains in the back. It was a big flat area up in the Tip City, Troy area. I know they put curtain drains in. I know we had to watch that when we replaced cable, right?
yeah,
It's back in easement, and I know that some of the homeowners talk about the same type of situation you had, where it all kind of lays down in there.
yeah,
Very intricate system. It's not a cheap system, right? You're digging down and then you're putting in all your tile and everything, right?
yeah.
But to know what they were thinking, what some of the engineers were thinking, stuff like that, to see
Well, the
where the help could be or where the help that we could do in the future and stuff like that, all that plays into it, right?
Yeah.
We talk about development, you're talking about growth, you're talking about local zoning and stuff like that. Stuff that we can help with maybe some of the things that we've seen outside and around, right? You know, that we could ask some people. I know Kettering maybe has done a few different things or something like that, or maybe Centerville or somebody. And I've, just seeing some unique situations out there we ran into,
Yeah.
so. I like seeing that stuff, so I can try to figure it out.
Well, you know, our yard slopes down to where the development slopes down,
Correct.
but then it goes uphill. But Dave Young seems to think that it goes all the way downhill and drains out, and it doesn't.
I went out there with like an elevation type of thing and kind of looked, and yeah, it does, and you can see it across the corner and everything too, and it does slip down, so
Yeah, the engineer,
slightly, but it does.
the first lot in Hidden Trails on your right, that was supposed to have been a water retention pond. Well, they told me at the meeting, you know, hey, that drains out in the field. And I said, it goes down through the end of that lot, makes a 90, and comes in about 10 feet into the homeowner's property lines. Now, rather than go out and look, they just wanted to disagree. The engineer even said at the last zoning meeting, that can be a problem, because it does make that 90. He didn't say this in the meeting, he told us out in the foyer. I'll ask the homeowner if we can cut that 90 out and go straight out. I live there, I would be like, absolutely, because it's getting rid of that in my lot and putting it out. But, you know, when they go build, and just like Hidden Trails, you know, for 2 months, all we smelled was smoke and ash where they burn all the trees. And 3 homes are gonna be built in the wooded lot. You can be assured that I will call, make sure they have burn permits.
I think we'll make sure they have burn permits, won't we?
We will.
Yeah, because that, you know, hey, develop all you want, but play by the rules. You know, and I worry about the traffic impact. They told me, well, you know, that's a state concern, and I'm like, well, I'll contact ODOT, because we've seen so many fatalities and accidents in that 8th mile stretch. And it's just, when we're coming in, we have to gradually slow at least a half a mile. Tap your brakes, put your signal on, turn it off, put it on, or you're gonna get hit. It happens all the time. You can go there right now, and there's black marks. People, you know, it's a straightaway, and I blame the people, but it's just getting worse. You know, and I don't know if all this development is gonna affect the Little Miami watershed. It has to. And so I gotta research that. And that's really our problem, you know. Everybody up there is willing to work with anybody if they're willing to work. And I mean, if we have to hire lawyers for injunctions and all that, I guess we can, or I can. Or I can file them myself, you know, I don't need an attorney if I represent myself. But we're just, everybody's aggravated. My neighbor, young couple, said they'd have never bought that if they knew what was coming. And it's just a shame that the developer's a local person. And,
I think it's just because you have history with the back part there, so that's part of it.
yeah, this is the first time I've ever had any interaction personally with Ellis, the developer. The last time he didn't even show up to the meetings, and that put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And so they're a developer, we're just homeowners. I wish they'd just come up there, if that land, just buy us out. Put you in some more homes. But my wife has about 1.5 years to retire, and I would like to move, because it's just getting worse. we moved from Union Township outside of South Lebanon. It was 11 miles to work at the prison. At the end, it took me 40 minutes to get home. 16 miles and a half where I live, and it only was taking me 20 minutes. Thank God I don't have to go to work no more, but yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank
Any other citizens' comments? Hearing none. Okay, moving forward, road department report. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
So I guess to get along with the speeding out on Carter Drive, I went through the Ohio Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is this book.
Okay.
And if you really want to go to sleep, read it. Because it is very dry. However, let me say, first of all, what we have posted out there is proper and legal for that subdivision being a low-volume, dead-end road. Secondly, I would say that, so there's 3 classifications of signs: regulatory, warning signs, guiding / direction signs, okay? Speed limit signs are regulatory. Regulatory signs come with fines and punishment for infractions. With that being said, any type of sign, regulatory, has to be, if the board so chooses to want to add an additional speed limit sign, has to be done by resolution. And technically should have to have a speed or a traffic study done. Traffic study is going to cost about $3,000 to $5,000. Think we might be able to get around that, being the fact that it is already an established speed zone and, you know, a long-time subdivision. All right. But to quote section 2A.04 out of the OMUTCB, regulatory and warning signs should be used conservatively because these signs, if used to excess, tend to lose their effectiveness. So I'll just leave that as it is.
So there's just one coming into the subdivision, that's it?
Right, with the statement on it, residential and other, in 25 miles per hour unless otherwise posted. All right, which is all that is required by law. We added the residential and otherwise, unless otherwise posted, once the addition or the extension of Carter Drive was done there several years ago. So with that, said all regulatory with meaning that the traffic control devices, this being a speed limit sign, has to be supported by laws, ordinances, and or regulations. So here again, has to be done by resolution because it comes with punishment and or fines, and if drastic enough, imprisonment. So, it is my experience and professional opinion that another sign's not gonna make a dang bit of difference. The only people who pay attention to signs are the ones that install them and maintain them. Honest people pay attention to signs. I would encourage the residents of Carter Drive to employ the sheriff's department for extra patrol to try to curb that, especially if, what this gentleman is saying, that they have a known perpetrator of such speeding violations, to maybe put emphasis upon that, but then that, I'm not a lawyer, that might get into some other entanglements there. So, with all that being said, if the board so wishes, we can add another speed limit sign, but you'll have to do it by resolution, and then I'll have to do measurements and find the proper place. It's not just as simple as saying, hey, let's go slap up a sign. Warning signs, I can get away, it's at my discretion, I can get away with that, because, I mean, that's just a warning, hey, dipstick, slow down, if you don't, you might blow the
Can we put
curb.
one of those out there?
There's no curve. So, with that being said, I'll move on to my report. So, let's see. Caught up on the ditching. I don't have anything pending right now. Still waiting on a 42-inch coupler from ADS so I can get this pipe installation done on Thomas Drive. Stacy's got my article for the magazine. The Corbin Avenue project, the OPWC, all valve stacks and manholes have been brought up to the proper level. I know that Gus has been diligently ciphering with the bill. I think he's got that figured out. I gave a little bit of input on that, but I think he's got that ciphered. He's probably got more in his report. The rest of it, I'll just stand pat with the rest of my report the way it is. And that's all I have. Unless the board has anything to push on to me.
I have one question.
Sure.
Montgomery Drive,
Yes.
there's no sign out there that says, we're talking about signs and stuff. There's, where it says no outlet, to let people know when they go into that area that there's no outlet out, they have to come back out. So I didn't know if that was ever spoke about or anybody's discussed about. It was brought to me by a resident before. Because you do have people go in there and turn around and they say,
Yeah,
well, at least let people know, just like this, like you said, speed limit, so this is a good one too, so.
Sure. Yeah, I can put, if the residents out there want a no outlet sign, I typically haven't unless somebody has been whining about it.
Okay.
Because when you, even the speed limit sign, I mean, you're looking at $300 to $500. Just for the sign and, the labor and everything to put it in the ground.
I'm in
I'll
favor.
pay for it.
So,
yeah.
so there's some costs involved,
There is.
with that.
And maintenance and upkeep.
And maintenance and upkeep, and I got the inventory and everything, and it's also a sign that I don't stock speed limit signs.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, because,
You don't need to.
they're in subdivisions, and they're not typically, one that gets destroyed or anything like that, but, if the residents of Laura Marie, want a no outlet sign, if that's becoming a problem, I can certainly do that.
And I'm in favor of
It's
that.
not a
I'm in
problem.
favor of the 25-mile-an-hour sign. And like you said, if you want donations, I mean, I can definitely front donation to that this year myself. I have no problem with
That's
that at all.
the board, that
Well,
you
That's
guys.
not me, so.
I'm just giving you my
I appreciate
experience.
that.
After 25 years, I've seen and heard it all, and I know what works and what doesn't work, and
Well, I just think that,
Hold on here, Mr. Jones.
okay,
Go ahead.
we put signs up, I can tell you this for a fact, I put signs up, people were squalling about a sign, and I put it up, and they never noticed it. Until I seen them 9 months later and said, hey, what do you think about that sign? What sign? The one you asked for? They don't pay attention. The speed limit sign is not going, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to turn you off of it, I'm just trying to not expend taxpayer money on something that's not going to work.
you supply the labor, I'll pay for it. Now, to rebut what you were saying.
That's to the board. I report to the board, you can talk to the board.
Now,
If the
another-
board so wishes to listen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Moving forward, fire department report. Good evening, chief.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. A little bit of a rough day. I got my AARP card in the mail today, so,
Sorry.
yeah, slower. But other than that, things are looking good. Our numbers are as posted, 81 for EMS runs for the month, 25 fire runs for a total of 106. Year-to-date, 581 total calls, total fire runs 310, 891 total calls for the year. Just a little comparison, at this time last year, we did 864 total calls, 598 EMS, 266 fire calls. Big PR week for us. We had lots going on. We had a crew, Mr. Fitzsimmons and Jeff Patton covered the football game. Myself, Josh Carter, and Tanner Schenkel and the duty crew covered the air show, which if you have not been to the Red Stewart Air Show, it is a pretty neat little air show.
It was
Really.
well attended.
Yes, it was very well attended. 42 was backed up and I was waiting for the call, but
I get to see it naturally.
true. I think, because where the brush truck sits, Tanner Schenkel and Josh Carter had the best seat, because I'm pretty sure they might have been able to reach up and touch the planes as they flew over, so. But our duty crews helped out, Sophie Nelson and Hannah Wolfenbarger for the, football game, and Alex Becker and Tyler White, brought the squad down to the, air show. I don't know if you're aware, but Quaker Heights hosted its annual Royal Court of Quaker Heights. They had some select celebrity judges. Mr. Edwards was one. Chief Copeland, Mayor Isaacs, and myself were the celebrity judges. Mr. Alvin Meyer was named king, and Miss Shirley Samples was awarded the title of queen. It was quite a fun little event for them, and it was nice to interact with them. I had something developed today. We're going to be a meeting on Friday with the Modern College of Design. I was hooked up through them through Robert Scott, one of our part-timers. He has a friend that teaches there. And I'm going to meet with their integrated marketing students. There's 3 of them in a bachelor's program there to work on marketing the fire department on social media, website. And we're going to talk about what our expectations are, what they can do for us, and it's their class project, so there's 0 cost to us. One big question I had is, you know, if you design the website, then what's the sustainability of that once you graduate and go on? And they said it's a very simple process. So, but I'll have more information for that next meeting. We'll meet with them on Friday. And then let me get back to it. Brandon Richardson resigned. Brandon was a member for a few years. He's got a full-time job and just doesn't have time to work for us anymore. And Elena Benton is starting her fire class and was hired in another fire department part-time. Because for us, Elena is just a single, she's an EMT only, single certification. When you have that, you don't get a lot of shifts, so she's getting more shifts at another fire department. I told her she's welcome back when she gets her fire certification. So, and she said she would probably do that, so. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
I have none.
All right. Thank you very
Chief,
much.
appreciate it. Moving forward, zoning department report. Good evening, Stacy.
Good evening. So you have a list here of the permit and fee activity for the month, $1,150 worth of permits. As far as the Board of Zoning Appeals, the most recent variance hearing is for Stockholm Court. That was approved. There's an upcoming hearing on the 18th for Lytle Road, another variance, and I have a resolution on tonight to reappoint Nick Driscoll for a 5-year term. He's been on for many years and would like to continue to serve. The magazine is probably 90% ready right now, waiting on a couple things. All the content I have so far has already been submitted to Stacy Castle. So hoping next week will be the final draft to get ready for printing. I have the Recycle Rally reconciliation here for you. The tire collection cost has been settled. You can see that the total cost for tires is $88.99.50. Corwin contributed $500. We had $1,533 of contributions on site the day of the Recycle Rally. So out of the remaining balance of $68.66.50, Lanesville paid been billed 31% of the total for their per capita amount of $28.62. and it boils down to, we'll have a total township cost of $3,379.89, because we also had metal revenue to help reduce the total cost. So, oops. And I have, on the agenda tonight, we have the zoning code amendments to initiate. And so there are two resolutions for that. One is a cannabis, one that was prepared by the prosecutor's office. I left that one worded as is, and then I needed another resolution to cover the other changes to the zoning code. It is listed under for a work session tonight, but I don't know if you need a work session. The only changes that were made at a couple places where there were some cross-references that I missed last time, I can show you. There was a couple of things in the table of contents and one other change. And I'll just show you that here so that, oh, there we go. I pushed two. Forgot I'm not connected. Or if you'd rather do it in a work session, that's, go ahead, okay. All right, so right here, this section that's crossed out, has to do with, remember how we're taking the CDOs and putting it as part of the PUDs. It's just a place where I forgot to cross out the language the last time. So if you go down, we take out the CDO development, and if you continue, it says for a PUD development, any waiver reduction and so forth and so on there, that will apply to the new language, which we placed in the zoning. And the other changes, like I said, were just corrections on the table of contents. And other than that, it is the same document as I prepared for you last time.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Yes, that is it.
Any other questions for Stacy?
I think it's good.
Hearing none, thank you, Stacy.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy.
Wait, you had the dates though for the, you said that in an email, the dates for the zoning commission,
Oh, okay, I have those. So the,
October 2nd?
yeah, the amendments will be forwarded to RPC, and it'll be on the RPC agenda September 25th. It will be on the zoning commission on October 2nd, and I don't have trustee dates yet. See how those parts go,
Okay.
because they'll come back to you for a public hearing as well.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
Moving forward, administrator's report. Good evening, Gus.
Good evening, board.
Yeah, he's on one. You're on two, still on TV.
There we go.
There we go, we got it.
Okay,
Oh, that's mine.
ODOT's project at 42 Corwin Avenue, they started today. They'll be having flag operations on North Street and Corwin Avenue. And they're basically, right now, they're just installing the 4 pole foundations that's going to support the lights and so forth. And they'll be moving on there from into phase 1. Recycle rally, just talked about OPWC project, all work's been completed, and now the process of getting amounts quantified and invoiced. I got 3 invoices out today, one to the village of Waynesville, one to the village of Corwin, and then one to the county engineer's office, which I got back because the calculations were wrong. And I recalculated, and what county engineer had was not right either, so we came to an agreement. So just right before the meeting, I sent a revised invoice out to them. So I got 3 of the 5 invoices already out today. Yet to be remain, we'll have an invoice for OPWC to get their portion, and then the remainder portion will be on us, on Township. And I've got a slide sheet or whatever, it's got all those breakouts that I can give to Scott so he can, Mr. Fitzsimmons, so he can be aware of what amounts may be coming in. Streetlight districts, the rates and amounts, they've been submitted to Warren County Auditor's Office for assessment on tax certificates. With that being said, I guess I submitted them a little early. They got their due by September the 8th. And then in the mail over the weekend. To my surprise, in our contract with My Valley Lighting, in 2026 is when they're scheduled to upgrade all the decorative lights on the top of the poles in the subdivisions to LEDs. And those come at a cost of I think the traditional lights are $200 a piece, and the acorn lights are $250 a piece. So therefore, we got invoiced $2,700 worth of additional lighting. And that has to come out of the street lighting fund. The only way to be able to make that payment, if we pay it now, then we're gonna be short sometime in '26 of making our street light payments. And we'll either have to pay it out of the general fund into the street lighting district, or I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna file between now and the 8th of September a secondary assessment for those new fixtures per subdivision and per parcel.
Are we gonna do a resolution on that?
I
Yeah.
think I will submit them, and then we'll have a resolution for our next meeting on the 16th, but it'll already be submitted to the auditor's office. Probably take me a day and a half, 2 days to get those prepared, but I think that's the best way to do it,
I
because
think so too.
we'll be collecting it in the first half of property taxes in those subdivisions in 2026.
We won't be short.
Yeah, you can't be short. So that's my approach on taking care of that. Warren County Budget Committee, Scott and I attended that on August 27th, and Warren County Budget Commission will not approve final budgets and rates of taxation until sometime in October. They're requesting each jurisdiction to supply a one-page narrative of any property tax fund that may exceed 100% carryover from the previous year's expenses. They're looking for each jurisdiction to state what exactly carryover from some funds are anticipated to be used for and in the near future. This is pretty similar to what the state legislature is talking about right now in Ohio and in Columbus, and talking about implementing for all taxing jurisdictions throughout the state of Ohio. And they're talking anywhere from 30% and 40% carryovers. Again, they're not opposed to carryovers, but they want the county budget commissions to monitor what you're saving for, or what you're holding that money for, what it's going to be used for in the future. Or if you put it on your budget, then they want to make sure that it is spent that following year, or whatever you say it's going to be spent. Next item, Washington Township Fire and EMS contract. Got a call last month from one of their township trustees. So I had a little bit of time, so I went ahead and I reviewed our last 2-year contract with Washington Township. And I considered the number of runs along with the amounts and revenue that we collect. And then based on their revenue that they receive from their taxing district, which is a continuing levy, it brings in, I think, about $91,000 that they have to split between Salem, Morrow, and then Wayne Township for our portion that we cover their jurisdiction. And then took a look at what we've been billing them over the last year, trying to come up with what a general amount is. And then I went through and made track changes that I sent out to the board with those recommended price increases. When I went down and presented it to the Board of Trustees, Washington Township, they were very receptive of it. They were very thankful for what we do for them. They, if we ever have any problems or whatever, and we need more money, and they have money, then they're more, that's what it's there for. I want them to do it. So we are about 31% of their tax base, and we're probably gonna collect on average between 30 and 35,000 a year out of that 91. So we're about on par with Salem Mara, with the amount of tax base of property that they protect in that jurisdiction. The one key thing that we don't have to worry about is the interstate. And that was always in the past was a nightmare, so as long as we can stay away from that interstate, I think we're all okay. And I try to keep into consideration that if they get a frequent flyer or a couple frequent flyers, that it really runs their cost up. And so I make them fully aware that, you know, we had one for a few months or whatever, and, you know, if they do get something like that, you know, it could exponentially increase their quarterly costs. So they're aware of that. And that's all I have in my report.
Excellent. Any questions for us? Okay, moving forth, fiscal officer report, good evening, Scott.
Good evening. Get some notes here. So, well, he hit on so we do have on the agenda to have the rates and tax amounts to be approved tonight. That was at the suggestion of Matt Nolan to go ahead and do that. I arrived a little earlier and then slipped into the municipal portion and the township portion, and a double fund. And, but he did make that comment that to go ahead and pass it. And then if there's changes, then we will just have to do an amendment. Gus is correct that, so they don't want anything more than 100% of what our anticipated revenue expenditures are for 2026. So we may have to sharpen our pencil because I know we may be over in one or two funds. But they're willing to work with any agency and that term, as long as you can say that we're gonna do this or that, and give them a period of time, but also at the same time. They seem to be, at least in that meeting, you know, they may have been, you know, put a little English on it to make an impression. But, you know, they just don't want, they complained about some communities that have said we're gonna do this or that and haven't done it. So they would like to be more affirmative, you know, so if you're saying you're gonna do a road, then just don't say we're gonna do a road, what's the plan to do the road, kind of stuff. So they're wanting to be a little bit more precise and exact, and I get it. That's, you know, hot topic, and if they get asked about it, they want to be able to pull out sheets as well, okay, this is what Green Township says, and this is what we're gonna do, that kind of stuff. So, tonight we'll pass that, but then, they haven't reached out yet, with me in terms of a fund that's over 100%, but I'm sure that's coming, I mean, we're W in the tax, so, they were gonna work up to us. So, you know, they're looking at each taxing district individually, it sounded like, and actually putting a bit more thought into it, this go around in the past. We also have on the agenda about switching to banks, talked to the banks and so forth already about that, and so we're gonna start the transition once we get the resolution in place, and start through that process. Something else I was gonna bring up, lost my notes. Well, yeah, that's, there is the cadet program. I figured that would just kind of flow into.
Okay, I'll check.
Yeah, I think that Sam will address that in the whole business. But I think that was the two big things. Oh, so I did talk to, speaking of, that was the fun thing. I was talking to People's Bank, I said, hey, I said, you know, by the way, you know, we had a deposit box there at the LCB, and he says, oh, it says, let me double check, and he called me back, he says, you know, you can get one here at the local branch, and he says, and there won't be any fees associated with it. You just, you know, go up there and pick yours out and go with it, so, that was an additional thing that they were willing to work with us on. So other than that, it was really a lot about the taxes and where we're gonna go with that. We may have to, start the appropriation process, maybe just a touch earlier, just to kind of jive it with what we may have to do. But other than that, it's, no additional anything right now. If you guys have got any questions about it.
Is it an appropriate time for me to ask a question about this spreadsheet?
Yeah, sure. Look like the tax amounts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We printed it on blue paper.
I printed it out, yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
how
two pieces
come-
together.
I know. How come the values are different between the road and the rest here? Like we have 49
this is fire district,
Yeah.
and this is your outside
roads.
village, so this is your inside village.
But it's the valuation, the total valuation of properties is different.
I think that's against, well, it's, Yeah.
The start, this is the starting point here.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I know where this came from.
Oh, this came from county auditor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, this is what they're basically.
Because it's looking for 2025.
But yeah, because this is your inside village, I didn't know that, and this is your outside village. So they
Is there some
calculated.
reduction? Is it
It might be,
rollbacks? Rollbacks or something?
Well, we do have a pullback, but
Yeah.
maybe calculated different, because of that, different village. Because that's all road and bridge there.
That's my big question, like what? Alright.
Price is evaluated different
I don't
from
know.
like inside, outside.
Yeah.
Are you talking just between the road and bridge and the,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
The
it's the
evaluations?
property valuations.
well, they're gonna be different because the road and bridge is, does not include the two villages.
Ah, okay,
Where the
okay.
fire and the general fund. and
Right.
the
Okay.
township and-
That answers it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep,
That make sense?
Yep.
makes sense.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. I didn't have to walk that far.
Any other questions for Scott?
Nope.
No? Okay, moving forward,
Thank you.
old business, cadet program. Sam,
We gotta try to lead into it for you.
Yeah.
please step up.
Couple updates.
We didn't bring cake.
Well, that's a mighty fine shave job, though, that's close, I like that.
So we're just still finalizing some details with the bylaws. We're very close to being finished with those. And we also started ordering uniforms. The association, very kind, and donated $1,000 for us to get t-shirts, polos, and job shirts. And then we're still aiming for our October 4th launch date.
It's really good.
Great,
Thanks.
Yeah, good job.
thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Moving forward, fire department, any updates for safer grant?
Still waiting to hear.
Any other old business? No? Okay. Moving forth, new business, questions or concerns of the bills?
I have none. And I'll make a motion to approve the bills as presented for payment.
Second.
Voice vote, Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
and Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
So first, we have resolution 2025-56, a resolution reappointing Nick Driscoll to the Wayne Township Board of Zoning Appeals. Thank you, Nick, for volunteering and for your willingness to serve. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-56?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-56.
I
Sorry.
will second.
Roll call vote to Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
and Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
This resolution is adopted the second day of September.
Okay, next is resolution 2025-57, definitely prohibiting adult use cannabis operators licensed under chapter 3780 of the Ohio Revised Code in unincorporated territory of Wayne Township, Warren County, Ohio, and directing fiscal officer to send a certified copy of this resolution to the Ohio Department of Commerce's Division of Cannabis Control and the Warren County Building and Zoning Department, and initiating a zoning text amendment to the Wayne Township zoning resolution to prohibit adult use cultivators, adult use processors, or adult use dispensaries licensed under chapter 3780 of the Ohio Revised Code in Wayne Township, Warren County, Ohio. Can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-57?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-57.
And I shall second.
Roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
and Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
And this resolution is passed the second day of September.
Next is resolution 2025-58, a resolution initiating amendments to the Wayne Township zoning codes as reflected in attachment. Make a motion to adopt this resolution.
I'll second.
Well, who's the first?
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
All right, the roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yay.
and Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
and Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
This resolution is adopted the second day of September.
Next is resolution 2025-59, approving the termination of certain members from the Wayne Township Fire Department that no longer meet our activity or performance standards. Motion to adopt resolution 2025-59. A second.
My thing with this one right here, I just want to take a second to pause. I slept on it overnight and just thinking about it more. I'm in favor of moving forward with the termination of certain members or whatever, but I'm just not in favor of the repayment and stuff like that. I just want to move forward with it and just keep going. That's my opinion with it.
I guess I just don't want to set a precedence for future.
That's
Disagree with you.
Well, I think we should reevaluate our,
We can reevaluate.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as a contract that was signed. It wasn't met. So,
Okay.
Do I have a second?
who's first?
I did.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yay.
Mr. Jacobs,
No. I had to change it.
and Ms. Colvin.
Yes.
All right, this motion is carried the second day of September.
Thank you, Scott.
Next is resolution 2025-60, a resolution approving a contractual agreement with Washington Township, Warren County for fire and emergency medical services to a portion of their township. Gus already went over this. Do I have a motion? I'll make the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-61.
Whoa.
Oh, is that what
No,
we're
we're
doing?
doing 160. So
Oh,
I
sorry,
made the motion.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta make a motion to approve resolution 2025-60.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong one.
Okay. I'll second.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yay.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
Ms. Colvin.
Yes.
This resolution is adopted the second day of September.
Okay, next
Mr.
is.
Chair?
What?
With that is 3 copies of the contract that have been signed by them, that the board need to execute, and the fiscal officer and fire chief at the back.
He's got a copy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next is a resolution authorizing the transfer of township banking business from Lebanon Citizens National Bank to People's Bank. Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-61.
I will second that.
All right, roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes?
Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
and this resolution has been passed this second day of September.
Okay, resolution to establish a fire cadet program for Wayne Township. Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-62.
I will second with gusto.
Okay, roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yay.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
and Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
This resolution is passed the second day of September.
Next is resolution 2025-63, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. So a motion for 63.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-63.
Second?
Okay, Mr. Kaufman,
Yay.
Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
this resolution is hereby passed the second day of September.
Okay, next is resolution 2025-64, accepting the resignation of Elena Benton from EMT, and EMT from the Wayne Township Fire Department.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-64.
A second?
Okay, roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs,
Yes.
and Mr. Kaufman.
Yes.
This resolution is passed the second day of September.
Okay, next is resolution 2025-65, accepting the resignation of Brandon Richardson, a firefighter EMT from the Wayne Township Fire Department.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-65.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, Mr. Kaufman,
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
and Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
And this resolution is passed the second day of September.
Yeah, we appreciate Brandon and Elena's service too. Definitely, thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Good luck with your future careers and endeavors.
That's the last one. That's good.
Okay, next, any other new business? None. Any elected officials' comments?
I just wanna say, appreciate Steve Jones coming and speaking to us, so that everybody gets to hear, the issues that are having out there.
I thank Scott for looking into it as well.
Yeah.
Everybody else, so yeah, thank you.
Part of the job.
Yeah.
It is.
Very good. No work session needed. No executive session. Okay, it is 8:06, and make a motion to adjourn the Wayne Township Board of Trustees meeting.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays, like sign, motion's carried.
Have a good evening.